It's a positive film. It has heroes and villains, and that it essentially is a fun movie to watch. It's been a long time since people have been able to go to the movies and see a sort of straightforward, wholesome, fun adventure.
Well, it's a fantasy. It's not science fiction so much as it is space fantasy. And it's about people. It's finally about people and not finally about science.
The story, when you actually put it into words, is only so much nonsense to hang a great visual experience onto. It's the stuff that fairy tales are made of.
Sort of boiling down religion into a very basic concept. The fact that there is some deity or some power or some force that sort of controls our destiny works for good and also works for evil.
Marvelous, healthy innocence. Great pace, wonderful to look at, full of guts, nothing unpleasant. I mean, people go bang bang and people fall over and are dead, but, no horrors. A sort of wonderful freshness about it, kind of like a wonderful fresh air.
It's got whatever you want it to be. It's pure entertainment. It's like a roller coaster ride, and it can be interpreted as long as you enjoy it, which is the intention.
Welcome back to Generation Skywalker, and I've got a treat of a round table with me tonight. I've got Jez from the show, as always. Good evening, Jez.
Good evening, Stu.
And I've got three fantastic guests. I'm just ecstatic to have you all on. First of all, we've got Martin Keeler. You might well know him from Fanford Tracks, and if you come to Farthest From, you will often find him in the kitchen. Good evening, Martin.
Good evening, gents.
How are we?
Yeah, very well indeed. Got over Christmas and all ready for 2023.
Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. We've also got with us he's a producer, writer and director, Jed Shepherd. Good evening, Jed.
Hello, everyone. Good to be here. Martin, do you know it is already 2023? Because you said you're looking forward to it, but we're currently in it.
Yeah, we're 18 days into it.
I'm just in denial.
I think I am as well, because like I haven't done anything for the last 18 days.
Bring that energy, get going forward. Yeah, I want to be able to have an entire year where I do nothing. So that's what I'm building up to. Everything I'm doing is building up to a year where I can do nothing but sit on my backside.
I've never seen you have a week doing nothing, Jed.
No, I just there's too many people coming to me. I've got to be on my toes.
Now, Jed, you're a horror fan. Your movies that you are involved in are all horror based, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're fair
horror
to say.
or horrible. Yeah, one of the two.
I'll get on to you in a minute after I've introduced the last person, but I'm interested to know where the Star Wars kind of a big fan. I'll let you have a little think where the influence comes across your things. But we're also joined by, you'd probably know him from the rock band Ash. We're delighted to welcome Mark Hamilton. Good evening, Mark.
Hiya. Good to be here.
Now, Mark, I was a huge Ash fan in the 90s when I was a teenager and came to see you many times, actually.
All right. Awesome.
It's a real honour to have you on. But there's one thing I want to clear up. 1977, the album title, okay? When I talk to Star Wars fans, they're like, oh, yeah, 1977. It was named after the year Star Wars came out. And then I also read things, oh, no, it's the year of birth of yourself and Tim, who's also in the band. What is it? Was it the year of Star Wars, or was this named after the year of births? Let's put it a bit.
It was kind of a trifecta. It was both. It was kind of like, it came down to the wire where the record company were like, well, you need to give us a name for this album or it's being delayed by a month or so. And it was like, we had a couple of names, nothing was sticking. And it was like, okay, give us a name. You need to give us the name by tomorrow or the album's getting pushed back. And we couldn't come up with anything. And then we just thought, well, 1977, it's like the year of two of our birth. It also kind of tied in with Star Wars being released. And then also with, I guess, 1977 seems to be like the year that kind of punk took off. Yeah. So it kind of just felt like it covered a lot of bases.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not a myth. It's not made up by Star Wars fans. It's great, and it makes sense because the very first sound on that album is a TIE fighter, isn't it? It's flying in. It's quite a distinct sound for a Star Wars
Yeah,
fan.
we did that without asking any permission and just hope that we'd not get in trouble.
Well, I can also remember buying Girl from Mars when it came out on single, because the B-side is the Cantina music, which is very fitting considering we're going to be chatting about the Cantina 2 tonight. Do you have to go down any routes to be able to use that music?
Not really. I mean, you will have to pay like publishing points will go to John Williams, but anyone can record any song they want. It's just that whenever you release it, then you got to put will be a royalty paid to someone.
Yeah.
So I mean, we actually were in the studio doing sort of like some overdubs and mixing the single Girl from Mars with a producer called Phil Fernally, and he didn't like what we were trying to do with the Cantina. He just thought it was too crazy, off the wall, kind of like weird. And he basically quit and walked out of the studio. And that's when we called Owen Morris, who was the Oasis producer, to come in, and he took over.
Yeah, brilliant stories.
Did you offer to pay John Williams in cash and drop it round?
Oh, what, the royalties?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the accounting department. I don't know.
Yeah, it's actually easier than you think to like release a cover song, because like when I had a record label, this little band wanted to do a Madonna cover, and I was like, no, they can't do a Madonna cover. Like that's going to cost me a fortune. Then it was like 60 quid or something. It was like absolutely nothing that you pay for the license, and then obviously you've got to pay royalties and stuff. But yeah. And by the way, that is Ash's version of the Cantina song. That's the best cover I've heard of it, because there's so many bands you see on YouTube that have done a million different versions, but like the version, I don't know if you recorded it all in one room like Raw, Mark, but it sounds like it's a real Cantina band rather than just doing
there is mistakes in it, but we kind of like, so it was a live take. Nice. and then but it wasn't completely tight, so we ended up just like throwing loads of overdubs and sound effects on top of it to sort of like try to like cover over the mistake.
Yeah.
So I mean, anyone who's like competent musician will go, oh, there we go.
But it's like a real Cantina band, though. That's the vibe. So yeah, it works really well.
It's going to be on the playlist for Cantina 2, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, yeah, we did it. Yeah,
worth the entry fee on its own for anyone that hasn't snapped their tickets up yet. So, Jed, with regards to Star Wars, you just said you're interested in horror, but you're a huge Star Wars fan, obviously.
Yeah,
because you're here. Does it have an influence with your horror films? What can you take from Star Wars?
Well, I think like when you're a kid, you're like a sponge and you soak up loads of different things, and that influences how you move forward as an adult. And as a kid, if you're seeing this fantastical adventure in space, your mind is an overdrive. Your imagination just goes. And the first time seeing Star Wars, actually the first time I had any exposure to Star Wars was in school. You know those days where they let you bring in toys and stuff? Like a whole bunch of other kids were brought in like Jedi toys, and I was just like, "What is this?" Like I haven't been really exposed to this, and and then you just go down a rabbit hole, and it just stays with you forever. And with horror, I think that is the most imaginative, risk-taking genre there is, and obviously George Lucas took lots of risks making Star Wars because. Like a Western set in space, it's nuts. So yeah, I think there's a lot of crossover, and like horror fans are basically they love sci-fi too. They're all of us are geeks, so it's fantastical things that aren't real in real life. That's what I like seeing on the screen. That's what I like making. So yeah, and so ultimately, I want to make a Star Wars film or Star Wars TV show one day, and I will in the next 5 years. Just watch. Mama words.
Jed, you're saying it's not real. You're saying Host is not a documentary?
Host, It is a documentary. Yeah, we just press record. But yeah, no, I think there's a big crossover between horror fans and Star Wars fans for sure. Like, just entertaining, magical stuff.
So, Stuart and Jez, you know what a risk you're taking being on a Zoom with Jed, don't you? If you've seen Host, you'll know they don't end well.
Right. Does not end well.
Okay then, Jed. So that leads me into a question then, right? Okay. So your phone rings. It's Kathleen Kennedy. She goes, "You got 1 minute here to give me a spill for a TV show, and you can either be involved in Star Wars or never." Go.
Oh, so I would genuinely do a Cantina Band tour TV series where every episode they go to a different bar, and you just see all the scrapes they get into, trying to get the money off the promoters, being chased by gangsters, and just the life of a band on tour, but done from their point of view. And also you will never ever hear what they actually. There'll be no subtitles. It'll just be in their language, and you don't understand it. That's why I'd love to do that, because like following a band on tour is cool anyway. It's interesting anyway, but just seeing the band have fights about publishing and who's the songwriter and stuff like that, having a shit on the bus. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear, but stuff like that. No number twos on the spacecraft. Yeah, just stuff like that. I think it'd be quite interesting.
So you've just had the great experience that we have all the time. I bet you thought Jed will have to think about that for a second.
I didn't hesitate, did I?
No, you just played right into his hands there.
But it's funny because mine will know this. Like, me and Martin were coincidentally on a call with a pretty big director a few weeks ago, and who is one of the biggest Star Wars fans there is. He has one of the best Star Wars collections there is. Basically, his entire house is filled with Star Wars stuff. Won't say his name probably, but he should be doing a Star Wars TV show or a film. No one knows Star Wars better than him, and he's a big director. So it's only a matter of time before that happens, and then hopefully he gets me in as well.
That'd be great. So yourself and Mark, you do work kind of alongside each other in certain aspects, because isn't there some sort of something to do with videos that you create for Ash? I mean, one came up when I was doing a little bit of digging, Slashed, which had a hell of a cast in it, for one thing. Can you tell us about that?
We haven't spoke about Slash for a long time. I'll do it. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll just say what I think happened. So this was like early 2000s. Mark and Ash had been putting videos on the end of their releases, their singles, and they were like little 5-minute videos of like crazy stuff that happened on tour. And then he asked me to write like a little sketch or something. It was originally going to be about 5 minutes, and it ended up being about 15 minutes. And then Mark was on tour, Ash were on tour with a load of like millions of different bands, and then we just decided, like quite organically, I think, just to make it into like a film. And so Mark got his video camera and started filming stuff, and it was very like organic and like fun. And Mark would just call me from wherever he is in the world, going, "Okay, Jed, I'm here with Coldplay. Can you write something about this?" Like, cool. And he would be like, "Okay, I'm here with we're going on tour with Moby in 3 days. Write Moby in." That's basically what it was, and it's some crazy stuff. There's some crazy stuff in it.
It just spiraled out of control. It kind of it started off in like the little short thing, and then just got stupider and stupider, and it never got finished, which is unfortunate. But we did screen. We kind of did a bit of a public screening of what was made at it was like 10 years ago now. Whenever we did a day event, Ash 20 gig, yeah. Which people enjoyed. There was a Q&A session and played all the clips of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. And all the Coldplay stuff, as Sherbet Bones and Datsun Ford, who are supernatural FBI hunters. And
Chris Martin gets hacked to pieces, yeah.
Yeah, he gets hacked to pieces.
Oh, spoiler!
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. But yeah, it's nuts, and like sometimes I forget about that, but like it's nuts. And I remember because I was at the tail end of uni, and I remember reading NME, and at Christmas there were 2 Christmas in the big NME quiz at the end of the year, where one of the answers was Slashed and one of the answers was who was the writer of Slashed. So I got into the NME end of year quiz, which was really cool. It's just bizarre. That's my first taste of fame.
Brilliant.
And is it you can see some of the footage, can't you, on Binary?
Yeah,
there's 2 versions of Binary video, isn't there?
Yeah, there's 2 versions. So if you search Ash Binary Slashed on YouTube, you can find it. You can find it's a taster of what it's about.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts.
With Chris Martin telling a really rude joke. That's
with the punchline is lemon entry. Yeah.
What are you thinking about? Actually, Ford, my mind had wandered. I was just thinking about rubbing some form of citrus-based curd into the buttocks of a young maid. lemon entry, my dear Ford. Lemon entry.
That's so funny.
God.
Well,
Can
my
imagine.
my favorite bit in all of Slashed is this was like not too long after I think Winona Ryder got arrested for shoplifting, and Moby had been going out with her at the time, I think, and then we have a line in there about that where we talk about Winona Ryder stealing his heart. And at the time, it was so good and so current. I was just like, "Oh, that's going to be great when people see this." But like, no one's seen it. But yeah, I always think one day there'll be a documentary made about Slashed with all the people involved in it as talking heads, just going, "Yeah, I don't know. Mark asked us, we just did it. We have absolutely no idea what it is," and we play in their clip, and I think it's interesting. And I get asked about it all the time, weirdly. So yeah, it's weird.
I'm still chuckling to myself with lemon entry. I can picture it. I can picture his sort of deadpan way of saying it, like in Extras when he comes on and he does a cameo in Extras, which is just brilliant.
But Mark, it was like Extras, because I remember I went over to LA to when you guys were supporting. You were on tour with Coldplay, and I remember meeting Chris backstage at, I think it was a Greek in LA, and it was like an episode of Extras, because it was just like I was brought over to him and he was sitting at this table and covered in models. Like he was surrounded by models. I don't know if you remember. And me and Mark had just been drinking this cocktail called Mark of the Devil that Mark used to make. And so I was steaming it. So I went up to and like the models parted like the Red Sea, and there's Chris, and he was like, Jed, sit down for a second. Sat down, and he was like, okay, I've been thinking about this. This is what I want Sherbet Bones to feel like. And then he started just telling me like about this character of Sherbet Bones, and it was really cool. And I wish I wasn't so drunk, because we would have been good. So I was like, yeah, I've got all that, and I just wrote whatever I thought. But it was hilarious.
He got totally into it as well. He was, whenever we were doing his parts, he loved it. I mean, he was in character.
He was great. Yeah, he was a great actor, actually.
I mean, because all the Ash acting is absolutely appalling.
I love it though. It's like Scooby Doo. It's like Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it's total Scooby Doo.
666 is what I remember from that.
Oh yeah. And Dave Grohl's in it as well, which
Dave Grohl's
cool.
in it, yeah. Casually.
Yeah.
Dave Grohl's in it.
It's a hell of a cast. Surprised it's not more mainstream.
Well, Mark, remember you tried to get David Bowie. You almost got because I remember I wrote a whole thing. You were like, I think we've got Snoop. So I wrote this whole scene with Snoop, and then in the end it was you got someone else to play his part. But
I think we were gonna have Snoop, and then because it was like there was like mutual agent involved, and then it got to the point where he was like looking for money, and I was like, no, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
See, that brings me on slightly, I think, like Death Row Records and stuff. And when I was looking at Ash, I'm sure at one stage I saw Death Star record label. Is that incorrect? Because I was trying to dig into that.
No, that's true. So like after 1977 was finished, and it had it'd done really well, was platinum and #1 in the UK, and it sold really well around Europe and stuff. There was going to be, usually there's a couple of years gap between albums. So we hadn't even written the next album, and the record company were like, well, we want to sort of like strike while iron's hot and get something else out before the next studio album. So we actually had been in Australia and done like a radio section live thing. And so that was recorded and then released as an album, like a live album on Death Star, which was like a small little imprint of that record company. They just wanted to come up with a name so that it didn't feel like the next big release, but something more, That
was Live at the Wireless.
Yeah, that was Live at the Wireless, yeah.
Love it though. Just all these little Star Wars things. As you said, the TIE Fighter intro. I mean, the very first post, which you had on Instagram, right? So the Ash Instagram, 2014. It was, it was Tim dressed as a figure, his own carded figure. So it was Tim Wheeler, Star Wars Kenner carded figure. I mean, for your opening gambit on Instagram, I'm like, those guys mean business.
I think my personal Instagram is like it's me at Skywalker Ranch with like what's the word? Stormtrooper, like right in front of the ranch. It was actually the Revenge of the Sith. Like we did like a media screening before it was a week or so before it was released.
Nice. So that's I'm following your personal one and the Ash one as well. So yeah, the Ash one is being full of it. I mean, you're a lover of Star Wars t-shirts, Mark. That's quite clear for everyone to see. We all love a Star Wars t-shirt. But what else am I saying? Did you guys invent Porgs?
Did we invent them?
Yeah, I reckon there might be something in this for you financially, right? Because I'm going to have to share my screen with you. I'll just zoom my mobile in to show you. But I was doing a little bit of Instagram stalking, and 100%. Let me just talk amongst yourselves. I did find a post which came out. When was this? I wrote it down. 4th of May, 2014. All right. So before we had all this stuff out, the Ash Instagram account showed a picture, and when I zoomed in on it, I'm like, do you know what? They look like Porgs, and there could be something in it for you. You know, I'll take a finder's fee. I don't mind. I don't mind that. Is that possible? Right. Here we go. Right. Oh, yeah, not that one.
Yeah, don't show us that picture.
Blimey. Oh, yeah, no, there always. Right. So this one here. Don't know if you can quite see that. So a lovely little picture there. Right. 24th of May, 2014. When I zoom in.
Oh, I know what that is. That's from Adventure Time. That's Gunther as a little penguin.
Ash Adventure Time. Hashtag Ash Adventure. These little Porgs all over it. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like that.
So I think maybe Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm are secretly following the Ash Instagram account and have just taken inspiration that way. You know, where there's blame, there's a claim. Go for it, guys.
The trail's complete. You're right.
Well, if we go after them, then they'll go after us and say, "Oh yeah, what's that sample at the front of your album?"
Yeah. See, I was going to ask you about that. Like, growing up myself, having different musical influences, whenever there was like a little Star Wars nugget going into a bit of music, I was like, oh, I like that, before I'd even heard it properly. So you just think about Together with Hardcore Uproar, which was like a real 90s sort of clubbing raving thing. They had sampled in Obi-Wan Kenobi saying more powerful than you can possibly imagine. They had a lightsaber extinction. Prodigy, Full Throttle. So the Prodigy Full Throttle song sampled Luke saying, we're going in full throttle. And then they had to remove that. So on the original One Love EP, it's in there. And if you listen to it on the music of the Jilted Generation, it's all reversed and garbled up. Why have they done that? Would they be told, right, you've got to get rid of that?
They probably didn't ask permission and then realized that publisher could actually take 100% of the publishing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what that famously happened with the Verve when they did the
Bittersweet
Sympathy with the Rolling Stones. Because they hadn't asked permission and worked out a deal, the Rolling Stones were just getting all of it. So
they probably did the same to Carter.
Yeah, so they probably then scrambled and just did a quick remix of making it hidden,
Yeah.
It's a longer sample as well, and it's someone speaking, so it's more identifiable, I guess. Though, a TIE fighter is very identifiable to the right ears.
But I think the difference was it would have been pretty bad look on Lucasfilm at the time if they had tried to like. I mean, they were completely within their rights to do it, but I mean, we were just like fanboys who were like sort of like talking them up and saying how great they were, and it wasn't as if it was a music. It wasn't as if it was it wasn't an integral part of the song. It was just like a little nod.
They did the right thing, and they ended up saying, "Work with us."
Yeah. So we ended up, exactly. So we ended up playing on set the Phantom Menace rap party, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then
Hang on a second. Talk about
that. So, well, actually, this is around 96. We had 95, 96. We had a camera crew follow us for about a year and a half on tour. Things were like, that was like kind of like the peak of like that album being, blowing up around the world. And so they did a tour documentary, and then it cost us a lot. Basically, all of the profits from that album went into making this tour movie, which we funded ourselves, and then we never released it. And then it was a bit similar to the Slash scenario. So we wasted all that money, and then in the process, we hired Ewan McGregor, because he was like hot with Trainspotting at the time, to do like the voiceover and narrate it. So he's in the film as the narrator. And then we were in Soho having a drink with him on the day that he was doing the voiceover. He had just finished it, and we were in the pub somewhere, and he just goes, "Oh," and because we knew that he was working on the new Star Wars movie, and he just went, "Oh, so the Phantom Menace wraps in a couple of days. Do you want to play at the party?" And we were like, "Okay, drop everything, let's do that." So they built us a stage inside the Naboo, the Theed hangar, and we got like the big yellow starfighters, the N1s, like basically flanking us around the stage. And
so cool.
It was a very last minute thing. We put a little stage up, and then we actually had all the cast, all the crew, well, the cast that were there, and even George was there himself. So that was a wild night.
And that film is called Teenage Wildlife.
And, the film they made, not the Phantom Menace. I don't.
And I've seen it, and it should come out. It's great.
It did get released eventually. It was an extra, wasn't it, on one of the special edition CDs? Because I've seen it.
It was kind of like wasted is the word. It never got properly released. But yeah.
I mean, I saw two versions. I saw probably that release version, and then I saw
there's a 2-hour version as well.
Yeah, there's a longer version. Yeah.
So that was the story behind that, the Phantom Menace, and that was great. I mean, as we drove in, I think it was Leavesden Studios at the time. I think is that right? We drove in, and then just looking across the grass, because it's a huge like lot or big studios, like a big field and stuff, and then there's like the big statues from Naboo, from the Gungans, like poking out of the ground and stuff. That was surreal, because we had no idea at that point what was in the movie. So then we go in, and all of a sudden we're on set. It's like, whoa.
Do you have loads of photos from that?
No, we weren't allowed to take pictures in there. Right. I would have loved that.
That's kind of an awesome place to do a gig, though. The Theed hangar, of course.
I need to set that up a little bit. In the Naboo diorama stage with us playing around all the little figures.
So here's a funny thing that I was going to say earlier, and I really hope I'm right with this, because it's going to be embarrassing if I'm not, but I'm 99.9% sure. The action figures, carded action figures made for Mark, Rick, and Tim were made by Andy from Blues Harvest.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So ironic that you guys are now playing together for a couple of gigs.
It's a bribe, years in the making, yeah.
Jed's always upset he hasn't got one. That's what always comes up at this point.
Only because he said he would make me one, so...
There you go.
We need updated versions. We need 2023 versions.
That's true. Get him on the case. I'm sure he's got nothing to do.
I know, Mark, I know you and Tim are very massive Star Wars fans. Is Rick as well? Or is he one of these? It's a bit
I think
Star Wars.
But the other two are, but like kind of they're not on the same, I mean, they're not on the same level as me. Like Tim used to have all the toys and figures when he was younger. Him and his younger brother used to play them and stuff. But then he sort of like, I think that he just couldn't get his head around the prequels, so the prequels were not really for him.
Right.
So I think he checked out of Star Wars for quite a long time, but then after Disney Plus came out, he got back into Mando and stuff like that. So I think he's quite excited to go to Celebration this year, and he's got his got kids now, so he wants to take them. And they're all,
So
like younger kids, so they're all like, obsessed with Baby Yoda and stuff.
So I'll try and be the barometer on this. Tim and Rick are what you would call like regular plus Star Wars fans. They know a lot about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Mark's one of us. No, he knows too much.
Excellent.
It's a problem. It's that kind of level. So Rick and Tim are super Star Wars fans, but Mark's in the same therapy group as us.
Have you ever, Jed? Have you ever worked with anyone related to Star Wars? You've the Creature Shop. You've Jim Henson thing.
Yeah, I worked with Jim Henson Creature Shop. They built me this 14-foot monster. So that was good, and just that experience, just to know what they've made and just the history there. And I got to visit the Jim Henson's Creature workshop in LA, and I signed an NDA, so I can't say what I saw there, but like it was the best thing I've ever seen. You just walk in and just instantly like, I cannot believe this is here. I cannot believe it. Like everything that was good from your childhood is in there right now in front of you, and you're not allowed to touch it. But of course I did, because I was just like, I don't know when I'm ever going to get back here. I'm gonna touch Michelangelo from the Turtles. I'm gonna touch him. But yeah, no, and obviously they have like all the kind of Muppet type things there as well, but they're getting really into making like adult creatures for like horror films and things as well. So there's a lot of stuff that they do right now that you don't think is the Creature Shop, but it is. And obviously there's Star Wars stuff there as well. And but yeah, they're an amazing company to know, and like I'm trying to work with them a little bit more. And I just did something, and I really wanted them on board because it was another big monster, but the timings weren't right. But yeah, they are the best. They are just the best people. And I just love creatures, and I love people who make creatures. So I'm always going to kind of, if I'm making something, I always want to be in that world. So it's only a matter of time before I've worked with enough creatures. Then someone says, "Oh, okay, he knows what he's doing around these little goblin things. Let's give him a Star Wars."
Jed, I know you need to meet Phil Tippett.
Oh, I'd love to meet him. Like he released a film like a few months ago called Mad God.
Yes,
and he's been making it for 10 years. It is fantastic.
It was like 4 years ago. 4 years ago, we were out doing shows in the West Coast in San Francisco.
Yeah,
and a friend of mine knew Phil and was like, and then it was the day after the gig. Everyone's like hungover and just like exhausted, and she was like, "Okay, you got to go to see the Phil's workshop." And
you went
in. He was there, and we dropped him some like albums and stuff. He's heard about us, and then he started playing the CD in his studio. And whenever we first went in, there was like people at reception who were like, "Okay, like no photographs, blah 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 blah." And then once it got in through reception and into the main part, Phil was pretty cool, and he's like, "Yeah, take pictures or whatever you want."
Oh,
and there was a lot of stuff in there. He was still working on that Mad God movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great, and it's still, people really really love it. It dropped on Shudder, I think this month. The
Jarek creatures were there. All the actual models, the original ones.
I love all that stuff. I don't know if I've worked with anyone who's been in a Star Wars film or TV show. I guess I just worked. I'm not even allowed to say it. I just worked with someone who's in Willow, who's in the new Willow show, which is, I guess, adjacent because of Lucas. But that's on something I've just done. Actually, no, he was in Dashcam, my film Dashcam. Yeah, so not yet. But I hope to in the very, very near future.
It's inevitable because Jed's in this place where it's all sort of coming together. So knowing the kind of people that Jed works with, it's inevitable that next time you speak to him, it'll be, "Oh yeah, I've been working with so and so." Yeah,
it will be interesting because obviously
you won't be able to say.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys. I would love to do like a found footage Star Wars film. What would that look like? That'd be interesting, just all from the point of view of like someone's like personal.
Well, it'd be from an astromech, wouldn't it? Surely,
yeah.
Found footage from an astromech,
from the point of view of a droid. That's what it'd be. It'd be a droid filming it all.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
There you go. That's two films.
Whenever they like they blasted the dog up into space.
Yeah, like
remember that tiger, right? So think of like something similar concept where you've got like one of the core planets, and this is before hyperspace has even actually been properly like realized, and they're like testing, like almost like scientifically testing hyperspace, and they're blasting these droids out into space.
Oh no, I've got a better one. It should be a found footage film that's of R5D4, and it's what happened to him between A New Hope and The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
Just call it Bad Motivator.
That's it, yeah.
Who would he encounter?
Well, that's the thing. We know where he started.
Yeah.
And we know where he's got to. Theoretically, it all happens on Tatooine, but we don't know that.
And now he's like Mando's droid for season 3, so he's going to be like super famous.
Yeah. There you go. That's your pitch.
Do
as a short.
Well, I feel like everyone's getting a go on a Star Wars project, so I just have to wait my turn because everyone's doing it.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, Joe, what I could listen to you boys just chatting for just let you go. Yeah, it's great. But want to move things on. So Celebration is in London in April. Brilliant to have it back on these shores. I think it was 2016, was it? Last time we had it here?
Yeah.
And you boys arranged an event called the Cantina. Now, Mark, I'm going to come to you. So first of all, how does a musician, film director, and you, Martin.
Me.
I'm Martin.
and another guy.
Who gets 4 lads up on stage and asks them really random Star Wars questions when they're and England have just been knocked out of the World Cup. Meet in the first place. How does those connections come?
Well, it all came from... It was sort of 2 areas that came together. So from the Ash side of things, I went to a gig in Belfast where they did a really big gig for dementia care. I think it was one where it was the Divine Comedy, Ash and the Undertones. And I was lucky enough to have basically won an auction to have a VIP trip, which ended up with me being backstage at the after show party. Ironically, the one person I didn't meet was Mark, because Mark had family commitments, but I met everyone else in Ash, including their manager, Dave, who was amazing. And then from there on in, I kind of started going, that's it. I've been a real hanger-on, but no, I've been lucky enough that when I've seen them, we sort of met up. And then, as Mark will say, we started talking Star Wars and realised it wasn't just about watching bands and talking about bands. And we've been talking Star Wars ever since, really, haven't we? That's kind of where we got to know each other. And then Jed...
What year did you say that was?
Oh, God, I think that's coming up for 10 years, isn't it?
Right.
Must be 9-10 years. It's long. It's a
long
time ago.
Because the reason why we didn't meet was because my daughter was there and she was like really young. She was about 4.
Yeah.
So after I came off stage, I would look after her.
Because you walked past me and I had a Star Wars t-shirt on. So I say we didn't meet, but you walked past me and you just stopped, went, great t-shirt, I've got to go. And off you went. But yeah, so we got to know each other sort of through that, and it's just grown from there, and it's great. It's one of my best mates, which is amazing. And Jed did like a big Ash fan, so I thought when you say how did you come up with 1977, I think it's the number of times Jed's seen Ash play in London. I thought that was the figure. So Jed's always been close to him. He put on a gig called Ash 20 for their 20th, and when
2012,
yeah, and we were chatting sort of online a little bit, weren't we, about stuff like going on there, just like looking forward to the gig and that. And then we sort of said it's another one. I did that classic thing of at the end of the gig, I found Jed and said thank you, and then because of us meeting at various gigs, we've then become friends. And then there was the meeting about should we do Cantina, and that's when it all came, the 3 of us.
Yeah, because and I've known Mark for like about 20 years now. Just big fan of Ash, and and Mark was the most at the time. He was the one who would talk to like people the most. He would be the one who, after the gigs, he would come out and like hang out with everyone, go to the pub and stuff. So he was the most accessible one. Maybe if Rick did that, would be in a different situation now. But no, he was always the most like fan friendly. So over the years became friends, and then done multiple things together. And Ash 20 in 2012 was the first kind of like big kind of themed gig. And if you guys didn't go, Ash 20, it was almost like an all-dayer of various different Ash things. So they played acoustically, they played a full band setup. We did Ashioke, where if you paid a certain amount of money for a special ticket, you got to sing Ash songs with Ash as your backing band.
Yeah.
And we also We had
You showed Slashed.
we
Bits of
showed a bit of
Slash.
Slash, yeah. But it was more than that. Also, there was a cafe next door to the venue where we had just literally 2 days before I went into that cafe. It was a Turkish cafe, and I said, "Can I just like change your menu to like this band Ash themed things?" And they were like, "Yeah, all right." And then so they just let me print out new menus, put it in there, but it sent so many people into their cafe with all these Ash themed coffees, Ash themed chocolates, which were just normal chocolates, just changed the name. And but they asked me, "Can you do this for us all the time?" And I was like, "No, I can't do it. It's not possible." But that was great, and we had like amazing bands playing. We had
Adam Buxton.
Adam Buxton doing something. We had My Vitriol coming back after like a 10-year hiatus, doing some songs. It was great. Loads of special guests and stuff. And then because mine was,
do you remember the name of the? I think it was the various partners of people in Ash at the time. All the girls did a tribute band to Ash
called Gash.
Called Gash.
Yeah. There's Emmy the Great.
Now, could you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was good,
they named it. It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
we
good.
get cancelled if we try to.
Yeah. But Emmy the Great's got such a great voice. Like it was cool. But then so based on this kind of like themed concert, we Mark and Martin and I just was like this will be a good idea if we can make this happen. Do a Star Wars thing for Celebration. It's rarely in London, so like let's take advantage of it. And we just did it, not really knowing how it would turn out. And I know me and Martin were very skeptical, nervous, scared about doing something kind of on this scale because you put in the word Star Wars in something, people have a certain expectation of how that night is going to go. Like Star Wars is bigger than life. And Ash is so closely connected to Star Wars and all the stuff they've done. So we put it on, and we didn't even announce it was Ash until a few days before the concert. And yeah, it was like sold out. It was an amazing like full of surprises. I felt like everyone there couldn't believe what was happening because it was like a night where literally anything could happen, and it did. And we had Star Wars themed cocktails. We had stormtroopers going around like just hassling people. We had loads of cosplay. We had loads of people who were in actual Star Wars films just milling around. Star Wars cocktails were down a treat. Oh man, it was insane. Yeah. It was so good, and the visuals were cool as well. And
so imagine you guys know that. Sorry, but you guys know this from farthest from. Like the evening meal at Christmas where you have sort of some of the actors floating around, and it's a very relaxed environment, and you probably get a much better time just hanging out with people talking about things. Cantina had that same sort of relaxedness, except it was a massive high energy proper gig. And people, right. The amount of photos we saw of people with like Pam Rose was her usual legendary self, but one of my mates posted a picture and just said, I'm not sure tonight's happening because here's a picture of me 10-pin bowling with Pam Rose while Ash play in the background. And it was that kind of evening where that happened to everyone.
Where
sort
was
of thing.
Cantina? Where did you have it?
Brooklyn Bowl at the O2, which was the smaller venue, which now is like a arcade, isn't it? I think.
Oh, it's terrible what's turned into. It doesn't have a stage anymore. But yeah, so like it was an incredibly unique venue as well because there was just so much going on, and it had screens everywhere so we could do all of the visual stuff we wanted to do. We had a narrative running through the whole night, like a Star Wars crawl in between bands where we said we updated people on the narrative of the night, and as soon as people heard just the band, they would rush up from the bar to the screens to see what the update is, if Ash have been saved because they'd been kidnapped by the Empire, whether we can't remember what it was now. But yeah, no, it was magical. If I was going to sum up in one word, it was magical. And I just thought this is going to be so hard to top, and that's what we are doing now with this one. We are going to top it. We are going to make sure that this is better somehow than the 2016 one, which has gone down in like in legend as like one of the best kind of Star Wars music crossover nights that there's been, like in this country at least. So yeah, we're not going to stop until it's better than that and make people literally explode with excitement as soon as they step through the door.
Yeah, because after the last one, we sort of a few years ago we started talking about like potentially doing it again, and Martin and Jed were like, "Oh, we want you to get more involved," and I was like, "Well, what are we going to do that was different from the last time?" And we just like raise the bar. Let's get a venue which is 3 times bigger. Let's try. Let's you know, and then we started brainstorming ideas of what we could do on the night. And obviously we can't say yet because that would let the cat out of the bag. But that process was so much fun that I was like, hell yeah, I want to be involved.
You're probably picking up one of the things we don't have a problem with is ideas. Okay, but we're pretty good as a team about working through what's possible and what works for fans, and that's the thing that I really like about this, because like I say, I've got, as you pointed out, I'm not really in these circles, but I do get what people want to see in fandom, and so do Mark and Jed in that one. But quite a lot of discussions is like, what would we want to see as Star Wars fans? And that's usually where the best answer is. And it works really well because we always sit back and just say, would we buy tickets for this? And when we get to the point where it's like, there's no way I wouldn't get a ticket, that's when that gets locked in.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that are like, that are specifically spectacle based that were like, where whenever it happens, everyone that is there will want to have that on Instagram, be like, I was there. If you weren't there, you missed out. Still you, kind of thing. Yeah.
It'll be the thing, like, genuinely, in 10, 15, 20 years, people will be like, this happened on this day, and no one will believe them. And they were like, here's the photos. This really happened. Yeah. So
not in that Woodstock kind of sequel thing.
Oh yeah.
No.
we all watched... Not going to be torching the O2.
No.
Oh yeah, it's a mixture of Fire Festival and Woodstock.
We all watched that, didn't we? It was like commenting, going, "Oh no, that's not how you do it."
We will have. There will be fresh water. It won't be straight from the sewers. Promise. But like. Like the guys say, like this is one ticket where, and I know we're here to like promote it, but genuinely, if I wasn't involved in this and I missed this, I would be sad for years, because like if I knew on my doorstep, if I was at a celebration and I didn't go to something that's next door that's like this, I would be sad.
I love that, Jed. I'm going to clip that bit and use it on our socials, okay?
Please do. Yeah, no, it's don't miss it. Just don't be the guy that misses it, because
we will be
it's right there.
You're there, are you?
We've purposely made because we know, like, you know, money is tight in this post-pandemic world. Yeah. So we have made sure that the prices are extremely reasonable. We definitely could have charged at double, and it would have been like accepted, but we didn't. We were just like, we want as many people to come to this as possible. Yeah. We want this to be something that people, you know, talk about, and bring their family and bring their friends. So
and it's worth saying. So we have a rule, because we do this for fun, but also we're very conscious. There's lots of people that do this for a living. You know, this is their jobs. So the people in the venue, they have to get paid. Ash, you know, even Mark's an organizer. You have to bring the tour guys and the professionals in, because it's a professional outfit. So the rule we have is we pay the people who this is their jobs. I think the 3 people who don't make any money from this is us. And we cost it so that it's as low as possible for people to go. And that's the advantage of us doing it, because that's a choice we've kind of made.
Because we're fans, and we're doing it for the fans.
Exactly.
We're not doing it to make money. But talking of money, there'll be some amazing merch there.
Yeah, absolutely. But we very deliberately don't sort of shortchange people by leaning in and going, "Oh, it's going to be special if you want to be part." Yeah, we like saying, "This is your job. That's what the rate is, and that's what you're going to get paid," sort of thing. Because that's quite important to us, especially with the industry bouncing back after the COVID time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's another opportunity. So,
I was going to say one of the things that from last time that we've learnt is, again, we did not know how much people would enjoy it and love it. So it was. I remember the end of the night, me and Martin was like, I cannot believe we pulled this off. It went so well, and everyone was just so happy. But one of the things people weren't happy with is the fact we run out of T-shirts kind of early on because we didn't know how many to make, so we made not enough basically, and those T-shirts are like iconic. So this time we're gonna make sure we will have enough of those to go around, and we'll try and learn from that mistake.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Good,
I really am. Mark, we bought our tickets straight after you told us about it.
Nice.
And I think when I went out for a Christmas do with work, a round of drinks in Oxford was about the same price as this.
Yeah.
It was, really, really good value. We'll probably say it a couple of times throughout this episode. We'll have a link in the blurb. But all right, people have already got the first bit. How can they get a ticket?
It's go to the Indigo at the O2 website or axs.com and search Cantina. Basically,
go to This Is Cantina as well.
Yeah, this is cantina.com website that will take you through what's happening. Basically book it as you would a gig at the O2 anywhere. And it is a buzz, I have to say, for me, who's not in this world, to sort of load up the O2 Arena website and you see your gig. Yeah. And it's not even like sort of as a sort of special, we've done them a favour. It's like, no, we're doing a gig at the O2.
Yeah. One thing I also will say about the actual Indigo venue, it's an actual better venue than we have for 2016 in terms of sound quality. So it's a bit of an upgrade in terms, even though the sound was amazing at Brooklyn Bowl, don't get me wrong. This is a world above that. It's one step above where we could do the light show we want to. We could do the visuals we want to. We could do the sound will just be like tons better as well. So this is a major upgrade for it, and again we hope that it's amazing enough that we could do this again and again and again if people like it.
One of the things, because I went to quite a few Comic Cons and stuff, is that they usually start quite early in the day and then they finish around 4 or 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and then it's done. It's like people who go to the cons will go off and find bars and stuff, but there's never really any kind of like proper evening entertainment which is organized. And I know that sometimes there's like costuming groups have their own, but it's kind of closed, just for them kind of stuff. But this is like open to anyone, so anyone who's at Celebration can come. And it's hopefully going to be like the best Star Wars party ever thrown.
I also like one of your posts, I think it was on Facebook, with the Emirates Airline. You get the old cable cars.
Yeah.
Straight into the gig.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a real good way to. Yeah, that's a real good way because the Emirates Airline, which is like the cable cars, goes direct from Excel to the O2, so you can get them in 5 minutes. Literally, it's real
a stone's throw.
Yeah.
So with the first one, DJ Elliott, who's playing, who, if you've been to Celebration, you'll know he runs the main stage and is the warm up and he's the link between the fans and what the show's coming up. So he's doing a full DJ set at Cantina, which is quite a rarity in the UK to see him do his DJ set rather than be the stage host. But when we did the first one, he was kind of like guest DJing for us. I think he sort of volunteered. We didn't really know what we had at that point, with him playing. And basically, he didn't bring his adapter for his DJ kit when he turned up at the Brooklyn Bowl because obviously he runs on US power and it's different. So he had to go and get a transformer. So he went on the Emirates Airline back to his hotel room, the cable car, and then back on the cable car for the gig. Except when he returned at the gig, there was 5 tourists with him that basically he'd been talking to in the cable car, and they went, well, we want to go to this gig. And they ended up gate crashing at the end.
Nice.
Because they were so desperate to come after like this little journey across with him, and he was feeling very proud of himself when he came and said, I think we had like 20 tickets on the door that, on the night you get to the last minute. And it was kind of like, well, there's 5 sold purely from him travelling back on that.
Yeah, it's very quick.
Yeah.
So I know you want to keep some things back. Obviously, you've got things in the making. But what has been announced? You just mentioned DJ Elliott.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned Blue Harvest.
Yeah, Blue Harvest playing. Yeah.
With Darth Elvis playing his last ever live gig.
No, that's so sad.
Yes.
The legend.
The legend that is Darth Elvis will be performing one more time at this, which will be emotional, but also what a way to go. As Darth Elvis will tell you, I'm bowing out on the same stage as Prince, so I can't really be too cross.
To go with Prince, yeah.
Yeah.
So he went, man.
So the venue.
Yes, saw the concert and then went into Indigo afterwards. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Night.
So you know we're not mucking around with the venue.
No, yeah.
Absolutely. And then we got Level Up Leroy, who's like in the UK scene is kind of like your number one Comic-Con DJ. He'll be doing his visuals. Like I say, there are definitely some surprises locked in, and we're working on a few more.
Okay.
The biggest problem I have at the moment. So if you ask me what my part in all of this is, I'm spending most of my time checking in with all the talent, making sure they run to time, because everyone's saying, "Oh, we could do this," or "Oh, we've got this happening, we think," and I'm like, "Great, but this is how much time you've got." sort of thing, which is a wonderful problem to have, but that's the challenge for me. Cram it all in without.
Martin's like a Pokemon trainer, and me and Mark are like rare Pokemon, so he has to keep trying to like try to rally us in, because
all we want to do is level up.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Evolve, whatever they do.
I'm the one who sits in the meetings and go, right, current running time is 12 hours.
That's a good point, because again, with the tickets, there's obviously some tiered tickets, and there's stuff we haven't announced with the tiered tickets. So obviously, you'd expect a little bit more if you're paying a little bit more. I mean, everyone's going to have a magical time, but if you do pay that little bit extra, you'll have access to perhaps some other things. But we don't want to reveal all of that straight away. Say for the fact that you might be in the venue a little bit longer than everyone else if you pay a little bit more. I mean, people have heard of these so-called after-show parties, but I don't know anything about that. Yeah.
So we have a strange marketing strategy where we sort of don't tell everyone what's happening, which you'd think would be crackers. But generally that comes from the fact that, this is the great thing about the community. You announce you're doing something, as long as you know what it's like, guys, as long as you're sort of a decent person and you're not abusing the system, loads of people come forward and say, "Oh, do you want us to do this?" Or, "Oh, can we help in some way?"
Yeah.
And we kind of knew that from last time. So that's where this comes from, with why you don't announce everything day one. Because you get so much goodwill and kindness coming in, and we try and work things in, which kind of means a couple of weeks' time you start announcing, "Oh, we are going to do this," or "This is going to happen."
Well, Martin, how I see it is it's like a film. You don't get James Cameron telling you what happens at the end of Avatar 2, even though you probably figure it out because it's the same as the first film. But you know, oh, he's done it before. He'll probably do it again. It'll probably be pretty cool.
I never understood. I was completely surprised by what he did in Titanic.
The end of Titanic. I did not.
No, look. Come on, let's be honest. The end of every James Cameron film is, "Oh, I've made $3 billion."
Yeah,
that's the end of every James Cameron film.
Yeah, I like it when he comes in. He says, "Oh, this has to be one of the top 10 most successful films of all time to break even," and then he goes and does it, just like that. Yeah. Nuts. But that's Cantina. Like we've done it before. We're going to do it again. You just need to trust us that the journey throughout the night is going to be fun and the end's going to be great. And then hopefully we will be able to do it again.
Give them an idea of what they can do.
Well, I'm just still in sort of Star Wars shock. I mean, fellas, you know how to make a Star Wars man moist. My point is,
that's going to be on the T-shirt. Oh no, we're going to write something.
We've got our tickets, and now, Stu, me and you are sort of, having a bit of, maybe we need to get another ticket. Maybe we need to upgrade our own tickets here, because I got massive FOMO of something you've not told me about. So, yeah.
To be fair, I didn't realise they were available when I booked them.
I know. Yeah. I can say it's the most bizarre strategy for marketing in some ways, where we've kind of not shouted about certain things. We'll certainly be able to say more soon. I think we're off to the Indigo on Friday, aren't we, Jed?
Oh, cool. Is that?
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, we are.
Nice. Cool. Thank you for reminding me, because I completely forgot.
That's when we can lock some stuff down, and that's when we'll start shouting. And that's probably a good reminder for us. We might need to ask them what happens if people want to upgrade.
I think this is a suggestion, and I now expect it to be in the show. Okay. So Ash, when you're on stage, you could take your song Candy, get Hayden Christensen on the stage and change the word to Sandy, because the lyrics work really well. Because like Sandy, such a joy to me, sweetest remedy, only you can ease my troubled dreams. I think that works really well with sand. So Expect that if I'm upgrading.
Noted.
Any suggestions?
You keep on going. I like that one. I'll have a little think.
Yeah.
Well, this is basically what Jed and I do to Martin. We go, these are all the things that we want to do.
Yeah.
And then he goes, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And then we're like, okay, we can do that.
and there's an element of the thing is they will just basically say, "Oh, let's get Hayden in to do this song," and then there'll be this pause. It's like, but this is, I tell you, this is the weird thing about the live talking to these two guys. It'll be, "How do we get Hayden in?" "Oh, I don't know," and there'll be a little pause, and then it'll be, "Oh no, wait a minute, I know someone who worked with him 3 years ago. Let me just message him." Something because it's so well connected, like between the three of us.
There is actually something.
No.
Okay.
No.
There's going to be special guests. There's going to be special guests.
It's definitely be a special guest. And before everyone asks, no, George Lucas will not be playing the kazoo on stage and stuff like that. Maybe, well, no, but because people do get into a frenzy. So one thing I think we can say. So I helped out at a gig in Chicago where we had the mystery Porg, and the mystery Porg has never been revealed. Right. So I don't know if you've heard about this. It was kind of at the bash. There was, Dave's MC Porg costume.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's why I know I can say it to you guys. And this is where Mark and Jed look at me a bit blank, right? So the best thing about it for those in the know was the Porg walked out on stage to dance to Cantina with Blues Harvest. But for people in the know, they were freaked out by the fact the Porg was walked out by Dave. So it was not Dave in the costume, right? And then, of course, we did #Mystery Porg. So who was in it? And I know because I know who was in it, it's genuinely someone very famous.
Brilliant.
And it's never been revealed who it was in there. And there is a good chance they might do it again.
We used to get that at Celebration where the likes of Kathleen Kennedy would be walking around with a Star Wars helmet, a Stormtrooper helmet on.
Yeah.
And just people being a little bit incognito. I mean, I remember Celebration, I think it was Orlando. It could be in Essen. But they introduced Peter Mayhew. So Peter Mayhew came out on stage with his cane, but he was being helped by someone. And everyone was like, whoa, Peter Mayhew. And then they realised the person helping him was Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
But he hadn't been introduced at that stage. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for those of us who know Dave Tree, you can imagine when there was a few live streams and a few videos, when they all saw MC Porg walk out on stage, they're like, oh, that's Dave Tree. And then they saw Dave Tree. You can imagine it was like, what? And like I say, the person who's done it did it under the proviso that if it's ever revealed who it is, they'll reveal it themselves. So we've been in
a bit like the Masked Singer, isn't it? Kind of like
before the time. But I reliably informed the Masked Porg, we call it now, the mystery Porg is keen to do another appearance.
Oh, that's great, Martin.
You're going to have people who are drunk knocking the Porg over and pulling the head off just to see who it is.
Oh no! Well, you can't see in this costume, right, Mark? So that was another funny thing that most people didn't see. You can't see in this costume at all. And I was watching Dave walk the Porg across this. It was in the Science Museum, and basically Dave stepped to the left to avoid this massive concrete pillar, which the person in the Porg suit couldn't see, and they went smack right into it. And I was like, knowing who that is in there, that wasn't a good thing.
No.
Yeah. But yeah,
Mark's saying
that's one
about
thing.
ripping.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, Mark's saying about people ripping Porg's heads off, and Jed's going, that'd make a good movie, that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it's such a collaborative evening. I'm loving it.
I mean, there was a bit of horror in The Last Jedi whenever those boys got roasted and Chewie was just eating them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that there's a bit of a horror element to the Ahsoka series coming up.
Oh, that'd be great. I mean, there's an element of like even in Mando, there's an element of it, and even in Boba Fett, there's monsters and stuff in it.
I think there might be. I'm not going to spoil anything, but like elements from Clone Wars that you would say are horror-ish.
Yeah,
they might be might be part of it.
The thing is, like, I don't think Disney would do anything that might jeopardize toy sales, so they're always going to try and be slightly younger in most cases, just so they can sell toys.
I think the Ahsoka show is going to be quite toy centric,
in
a way that Andor wasn't.
Absolutely.
So are you boys quite invested in what Disney are putting out?
Yeah, of course.
That's a question, isn't it?
I mean, it's like, I mean, a lot of people have got quite strong opinions on what Disney have done and what they haven't done, or what, you know. But I kind of look at it like, while the sequel trilogy was not perfect, there was parts of it that I love, parts of it that I really do not like. But then it's got us to the point where we now have Mando, and in my opinion, the first two seasons of Mando is the best Star Wars we've had since the original trilogy, for me personally. So I mean, I'm happy, even if we got to go through some rough waters to get to where we've got, and you know, they're putting out so much content, so much content that not everything's going to be great, and not everything's going to be for everyone.
That's it.
But
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? So like,
I feel like they're throwing a lot of things at the wall just to see what sticks. Whatever sticks, they'll make 10 seasons of that.
yeah, like Mando was such a hit. I mean, they're not.
Oh yeah,
It's just going to run and run and run. I think.
I hope it does, because like, you know, he's a bounty hunter. They get this unlimited stories you can tell with that. But no, I'm a big fan of them producing as much as possible, because when we were kids, we were in a drought for Star Wars content. So I never want that to happen again. So just keep going. Like, no one's putting a gun to your head and saying you need to watch this, you need to watch that. It's on Disney Plus. You can watch it anytime you want, or don't watch it. Like, it's fine. Like, but just to have the option is really, really cool. It's really cool. People just like to moan on the internet, just like how dare they take a character that I loved when I was 5 and cast this person? How dare they? And it's just like, who cares? They're making this cool stuff that's going to inspire a whole generation of people. Like Mark always says, like, people might not like the prequels, but like, kids do. Kids like the prequels, and that's what's got them into Star Wars, which like. And they'll be the next generation of potential like filmmakers who make stuff. So, you know, there's a Star Wars for everyone. Like, I'm a big fan of The Last Jedi. I really liked it. I remember when I came out of The Last Jedi, I think I told these guys, I was like, I like this. This is probably my favorite Star Wars. Like, on the day I watched it, I was like, I love this so much. I was like, this is amazing. This is incredible. I mean, I've slightly died down on my love for it now. It's still up there though. I still think it has the best space battle. It has the best fight in it. It's got all these moments that are incredible. Maybe it doesn't all join together perfectly, but I think it has some of the best moments in Star Wars history on film or TV in The Last Jedi. Maybe the whole film doesn't stand up against it, but individual scenes are absolutely fucking incredible.
Yeah, that was if I was to sort of like, you know, really go hard on the sequel trilogy, I'd say there's a lot of like individual good parts. But then, especially like Rise of Skywalker, is just like this patchwork mess where a lot of it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But like they have really good visual parts, and that scene was cool in itself. But you know.
Yeah, I kind of like what Jez said with the Rise of Skywalker in particular. I felt absolutely great watching the first one. Watching it the first time, should I say? And then I've really gone downhill on it. And I've come to the conclusion it's kind of like, it's like a greatest hits film. It's kind of got everything you want to see, but actually it's sacrificed a story on the back of it. Yeah, like
that's what JJ does. That's what JJ does. He wants to please everyone. He wants to fix what went wrong with Last Jedi. So he wants to please everyone. And if you try and please everyone, you please no one.
No one, yeah. But I remember watching it the first time and thinking, I didn't think it was necessarily like a great film, but I just remember I feel so happy. I've seen Wedge come back. I've seen these little nuggets that all made me happy. It really doesn't, for me, work rewatching it. Although I will watch bits of it.
I remember being genuinely scared that something would happen to me where I'd die before I saw the complete saga.
Yeah.
And I was like, after I'd seen it, I was like, okay, at least I know what happened.
Yeah.
Even if it made no sense.
Yeah.
But in the cinema, when you watch in the cinema, there were bits in it I was just like, what? Like,
oh my God.
That makes no sense.
That entire fleet of Star Destroyers, all of them were like the Death Stars, was just like, come on. Mm-hmm. And who's crewing them? Where did they come from? They were just under some ice.
That's it. Palpatine going, my focus is Star Destroyers. I've been hoarding them from the collector's sites for years.
Oh my God.
But it's best not to think about it too much, right?
Yeah. But I'm in a place the same as these guys. Like, to a certain extent, any Star Wars is good Star Wars. What a horrible problem to have is there's so much Star Wars I don't like it all. When we've grown up in an era where at one point, oh no, there's not going to be any more Star Wars. I don't think.
Yeah, we grew up where it was like after Return of the Jedi, we had the Ewoks cartoon and nothing else for the Ewoks movies, which I actually really like. Mm-hmm. But then, because I was still young, I actually we were lucky in that the Ewoks movies were actually released in theaters here.
Yeah.
Well, in the States,
Caravan
it
of
was
Courage.
straight to video, wasn't it? Or it was a TV special or something?
Yeah.
But,
TV specials, yeah.
But after that, then it was like that. How many years was it before they started doing the comics? It was a big gap.
Yeah, so you look back at that era, and then you look at now where the beef is, I didn't enjoy this episode. I've got to wait another week until I get some new Star Wars. Oh no, there's another new series starting the following week as well. So it's 2 Star Wars going on. It's like, you can't complain, can you? And it's all, they're not cheap, are they? They're not cobbled together. You can see where the money's gone on them, but yeah. I was going to say, can I fire Mark up just because it's too much fun? What do you reckon to the Vespers the Vesper scooters in Book of Boba Fett, Mark?
Yeah,
give us your view on that.
I was just going to say that you've got in my mind, worse than the holiday specials. The worst live action Star Wars was that episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett, because the Vespers made absolutely no sense. They were supposed to be skint teenagers who were out of work and had no money. Yeah, they were able to keep their shiny Vespa bikes perfectly, not a speck of dust on them.
They run perfectly,
and they were also wearing all these fancy clothes with their mod upgrades and stuff, which looked like it was straight out of Buffy or some sort of cheap CW show. It was poorly done. I mean, it was bad. But then a couple episodes later, you got the Bryce Dallas Howard episode where it is movie quality, shot perfectly. They just seemed to be very inconsistent, while the 2 Mando seasons were, for the most part, quite consistent.
Yeah.
Obviously, certain episodes were better than others, but Book of Boba Fett was really erratic. But as you said, I had a real grump after episode 3, but only 2 weeks later, it was episodes 5 and 6 were fantastic. And then the finale was not, it was kind of the first half of the finale, I was going, what is going on here? Because it was supposed to be built up to this big battle, this big war against the Pikes, and it was 10 guys in a cart in the street.
It did annoy me that none of those souped up motorbike riders weren't getting killed.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping
no
they would
one's
get
getting
killed.
shot.
And also,
but do you know why?
The Pikes just turned up on the bus. I mean, they didn't. You're supposed to be this big, fearsome, crime syndicate, and they just turn up on the bus.
I reckon they thought that Vespa gang was going to be a standout thing and breakout hit, and then they would spin them off into their own series where they're getting up to adventures on their bikes. That's what they thought.
But the problem was the concept wasn't bad. If you look at the concept art itself, it looks kind of cool. It was just the execution. The art department there, or the directing, or there were some bad calls made on that one.
Something was bad. But
15 mile an hour chases. That was the bit that got me.
Terrible. But then on another episode, you've got the speeders. On the same season, there's the train sequence, right? The speeders, and that was done brilliantly.
Yeah,
so
that was great.
You went from episode 2 to episode 3, and the quality was just start. What?
Yeah,
and seemed to be the director had the 3 poorest episodes of the season.
Yeah,
Rodriguez.
And look, I'm looking at Disney Plus right now, and click on the Star Wars thing. We are so spoiled. We are. If you in the 90s, if you said in 2023, you can click on a channel of just Star Wars stuff, and you would get every single thing that's happened in the Star Wars universe, plus extra things, plus there's new things every single week. It is unbelievable what's on there now. Just so much stuff, so much content, and little shorts as well, like the Studio Ghibli Baby Yoda crossover little short that's on there. It's so cool.
Yeah. So Stuart and Jez, this will hopefully appeal to you. You know was it there was a 8mm film of Star Wars that showed sort of certain bits from it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
When it first came out. I remember saying to my mum, and it's a proper my mum moment, so I must have been a little kid at the time. I remember seeing a catalogue advertising that, and I just sort of was obsessed with looking at it. It was outrageously expensive. There's no way I was going to be able to get it and get it as a present. But I remember going proudly down to my mum and saying, I don't know how, but one day I will own a copy of that film the full film Star Wars, and I'll watch it as many times as I like, because we didn't have videos in those days and we didn't have any of that. It was just when I saw that 8mm sort of sizzle reel that you could buy, I just made this declaration that I will have Star Wars, that film, on tap for me, because that's how successful I'm going to be.
Did you
and now we live in an age where it's like, oh God, I've got another.
Tell you what, Martin, I'll buy you that VHS.
Bless you.
I'll splash out.
8 mil. Well, again, we get it from fathers from. I'm sure there's copies floating around, isn't there? Yeah.
And now, you know what? We also live in an age where it's not just the content which is being produced by Lucasfilm, but we live in a world where you've got 24 hours of YouTube, like supplemental, like, you know, every man and his dog has got a channel, you know, and a very strong opinion, whichever way goes swing.
Mm-hmm. But like, I'm, and I'll stop this in a second, but I am flabbergasted that people use the short time we are on Earth to moan about stuff. Like, and this is to moan about things, they're not moaning about wars or people dying across the world. They're moaning about a character in a story that isn't real, that someone else has made. Like, it's nuts to me. Like, when I see people moan about, oh my God, this isn't, you cast this person as this person that I read in a book 17 years ago. How dare you? Like, they can't be that character. It's just like, who are you to say? Go make your own thing. Like, guess
what? It's if you really hate something and if it's not for you anymore, move on.
Mm-hmm.
Move on to something different.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't. They don't. There's people who have been crying about this every day for 5 years.
Like,
making videos about it every day for 5 years on YouTube. It's insane. Their brains are broken.
And like, there's more hits than misses in this universe. There's more hits than misses. So like, you know, they've got a lot of goodwill from me, and like, I can't see a world. I'm sure the other guys saying, well, I'm going to ever stop watching. Something drastic would have to happen. There would have to be the worst show of all time for me to like even consider not watching everything Star Wars.
They've made Willow already, so you don't have to worry about
that. I still haven't seen it.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
I think you could say that you're very much like football fans to a certain degree, that, you know, this is my tribe. Right, I've followed them. They'll have a bad season. They might have a bad game. Yeah. It doesn't matter if they've had a bad game. Next game's going to be amazing. And we've all got that belief, haven't we? We've all got that love. We talk about, that was poorly executed. That was a really bad away kit. Oh my goodness, the next away kit is amazing. We'll have peaks and troughs. Yeah. And I always say to myself that it's the vocal minority online. Majority of people love it, but, you know, people are more likely to complain than praise, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just keep it coming. We've had such a rich, lucky 8 years.
There's also almost like a cottage industry, which is making people a lot of money to be on the hate train, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what it is. I mean, there's people who I know through conversations who make that content who have said privately that they do it for money.
Yeah.
And their actual real opinions are, you know, probably not, it's not like they love what the stuff they're bitching about, but it's like, it's probably not as strong as they're performing.
Exactly. Cool. Yeah. And that's why we are trying to spin it around and show people the positivity of being a Star Wars fan. And that's what Cantina is all about. Just like, it's just, we're gonna give you a good time. It doesn't matter if you didn't like an episode of whatever. This is about the love of something that you've loved for your entire life, and you can share it with everyone around you. And just celebration's going to be amazing anyway, because especially this is the first time it's been here since 2016, so it's before the Disney Plus stuff. So now there'll just be more people into it. There's more generations of people who have access to this stuff. So I think it's going to be an unbelievable celebration.
Well, celebration itself sold out so quickly, didn't it?
Yeah. Always does though, right?
No, last 2016 it was quite easy to get tickets, wasn't it? It kind of had a rush at the end, but this one had like the full on get your tickets in the first hour, otherwise you've missed them type thing.
I was in
Monday. Good sign.
I was in Disneyland Paris having dinner with my phone on the table. My missus was going, "Oh,
yeah,
what are you doing?" So I've got to try and get tickets for Celebration for an hour.
That's basically every time Hasbro does pre-orders.
Yeah. And then they're sitting in the shops for months.
You're out with dinner with your girlfriend or something, and you're trying to like do pre-orders under the table.
What are you doing? Just getting myself the most up-to-date Zuveum.
Of course. How
is the Zuveum coming on, Martin?
Zuveum's hugely accessible, as Jez was alluding to. It's strange we can't say the name, and we won't say the name, but we had a hugely successful film director get a tour the other day with Jed, which was quite funny. Our celebrity tours are doing very well. You guys are obviously invited to have a tour as well. We'll sort that out.
It's great.
It's for something that's so, well, I say silly, but it's very serious. But for something you wouldn't expect, it's doing remarkably well. I'm yet to have a complaint about the quality of the items in there. People genuinely feel educated after they've had the full Zuveum tour. They definitely say they know more about Zuvio than they had when they went in.
Oh yeah.
And we're getting repeat bookings. And actually, I have two guys from America who have done the virtual tour, but when they come to Celebration, they are specifically coming to do the tour in person, even though they've had the virtual version.
That's amazing.
Is the virtual version by Zoom?
Yes, by Zoom. No, I've Messenger, Zoom. We can do them all, and you get so. I think it's okay for me to say stuff because I'm getting very quiet. Look, again, the consistent marketing. I don't say anything about anything. So your Zuveum tour genuinely takes about 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, it includes a pre-show, like all the best Disney rides. You have a pre-show, and then there is a video that you watch that walks you around the Zuveum, and then you go live to me and I will answer questions about the artifacts you've seen. And it always gets the
series or Force Awakens, is it?
Well, no, yeah. You see, this is the bit. This is what surprises people. And Mark and Jed have done it. Everyone consistently say, "Yeah, we know it was going to be a laugh," but genuinely, there's a few interesting things in there that we weren't expecting to see that are of relative interest. And you'd be surprised how much Zuvio stuff there is that isn't just those figures. So in the Zuveum itself, you don't see the full collection of my actual figures. They're in the vault. But I'm happy to say I'm definitely at 415 3 3/4 Zuvios carded.
Usually, if I reveal to you,
yeah.
Usually the
price has gone up on them.
Sorry, what?
I was going to say, sorry. I was going to say, usually whenever you exit the museums, you go through the gift shop and you have to buy something. Well, if someone goes to Zuveum, they have to drop off their Zuveum figures.
That's it. Yeah, so you have to make pay a tribute. Pay the tribute to the Zuveum. But yeah, it's 415 3 3/4 inch ones, and I think I'm just over 112 Black Series now.
I've got, unbelievably, I've still got Kohl's is like a department store in Jersey City where I kind of live here. There is 8 Zuvio, Black Series Zuvios that have been on the pegs since 2015, was it? 2015. So, and they're still there. And
we keep messaging, don't we?
Yeah. I keep messaging. Martin will send me in and go like, have they been reduced yet? No, not yet. They're just not, they're never going to go on there.
Because there's rules, you see. That's what people don't understand. You never pay full price for a Zuvio. You'd be a fool to do that.
Every time you see one?
No, it has to be under £5.
Right.
Like I say, there's rules. I'm not mad. It has to be under £5 for a 3 3/4 or £10 and under for a Black Series. Because a full price Zuvio doesn't count. That's easy.
Yeah.
It's the discount Zuvio that the only ones that work. And ultimately, I'm going to be a millionaire because people.
Oh yeah! As soon as Zuvio's in another film and he'll be the hero,
it's going to happen.
I think so.
They kind of had him. They kind of had him in mind, though.
Yeah.
That wasn't him, though, right? That was one of his species.
Absolutely. So the Cuzo have appeared, and then in Disney World, when you do the bounty hunting thing, it's like that. They've used Zuvio, but it is a different Cuzo. But it is genuinely him if you do the Magic Band Plus bounty hunt. Like, this is not an accident. They are absolutely guaranteed at some point, because he's become such a legend for not having much screen time, I can guarantee you at some point he will appear. Even if it's a background Easter egg type thing, they're just not ignoring his species enough for them not to be building up to doing that one day.
So what would be ultimate Zuvio get? I'm guessing it would be part of his costume or his weapon or his helmet or something.
It's the guy who played him getting his autograph, which He is a mystery man. We've got a name.
We talked about this before, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had a movie idea, a documentary idea, finding
Zuveum.
Zuveum.
Yeah. And he's in the Philippines.
He's in the Philippines, we believe.
Yeah.
He was an extra in Abu Dhabi, and he's in the Philippines now, we think. We'll do that documentary.
I've just realised that throughout the last 10 minutes of us talking about the Zuveum, no one's actually said what it is.
Oh, it's the world's largest collection of Constable Zuvio artifacts. I like to say it's the best, possibly the only museum dedicated to Constable Zuvio.
See, I know that Jed has already sort of making up his mind of his Cantina band tour bus film thing. He's now going Constable Zuvio, tour manager, and threading it in there somehow.
That's good.
Yeah. He'd be the guy that's perhaps they owe people money and Constable Zuvio. Or is they just too loud?
Yeah,
or like a noise disturbance.
Yeah, or he's the promoter. Zuvio's the promoter, and then the band have to get Mando to get the money for them off Zuvio.
Do you think they'll ever take Mando back to like any of this sort of like specific sequel trilogy planets, like Jakku?
That'd be cool.
I think they're heading in the direction of linking it all up. So I don't want to go into, it's not spoiler territory, but I understand there's sort of like additional scenes in the trailer that's just come out if you go to Disney Plus in America. We've not seen them in the UK one. And that involves seeing something that's the first thing I think you've seen that starts making you realise the Empire hasn't really gone away.
I'm going to be furiously YouTubing later.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So it feels like they're edging towards linking.
What, those
things?
Those things we were talking about earlier.
Yes. Yeah. So, and they'd be mad not to, really, wouldn't they?
Yeah. But what I will say is, if any of you guys ever meet Kathleen Kennedy in the near future, you should say, Chad, you should really give him something.
Well, it should be a celebration, Jed.
Oh, that's true. I'll just walk up to her.
One of my biggest sort of like hopes for the sort of like Disney era Mandoverse is that they do, because they've already said they're going to do a season 4. It's in pre-production now. So after that, and I'm sure like the Skeleton Crew, and maybe if they do a second Ahsoka series, that it all then moves towards like some sort of like big movie. Because I think there needs to be a Mando movie which brings it all together.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
And with the proper giant budget and that kind of stuff. I mean, they're going to do like new movies, but they've already got these characters that people are really invested in, and it's kind of seems stupid to me that they haven't already went there.
I mean, it can't hurt just to do a standalone Mando movie, and if it does well, make another one. Like, they don't have to do a trilogy. Like, just they need to. He's so popular, like he might as well. Like, yeah.
And at the end, Grogu dies. That'll be the real emotional twist.
Ooh. No, what's going to happen is Din will die, and then Grogu will be like,
he'll take over.
He could, I don't know. Then he could go off and go back to Luke and do complete Jedi training, or in his anger, if someone kills Din, he then goes dark side Grogu.
Oh wow!
And then you've got like a new antagonist for like going forward.
Think of the toys. He's wearing like a black.
I've got some.
Go.
Mandalorian.
There you go.
There's your horror. There's your horror aspect. So you need a Mandalorian film, and Jed, it's yours.
That's it. Do you want the tagline? Mandalorian. You can't take your helmet off if you haven't got a head. That's it.
It would be good if it starts off him removing his helmet and it's just like blood and like just just yucky stuff.
Talking about like weird heads, what was that Inquisitor in Tales of the Jedi with basically had a balloon for a head and then burst it and we got killed and it just like was like a balloon, it just deflated and fell on the ground.
Wow. Is that canon?
Yeah, it's like the Inquisitor. It's like I can't remember which brother it is. It's the one Ahsoka fights him and kills him, or I can't remember how he dies, but she
is that the one
defeats
that people...
him?
Yeah,
and he had like a big sort of like crow face or something, and then when he dies, his head just like pops like a balloon. It's weird.
Wikipedia is your friend.
That sounds like the original Dune. Like that kind of stuff happened in that. Yeah.
There you go. That was another good tangent.
It really was. Mark, you collect, don't you? Let's completely move it on. What do you collect? How invested are you? Because I'm not sure, but another one of our team, chap called Craig, he's got some recollection in the 90s of you showing some Star Wars toys on a TV show, but I can't find it anywhere.
I know that sounds like something I would have done, yeah.
So that is out there, so his mind's not completely gone.
Yeah, I did stuff like that, or like photo shoots for like magazines, and I've done a bunch of those kind of things.
So you've collected for a long while then?
Yeah, I mean, one of my earliest memories is my mom took me to like a double bill in Dublin. It was like, I called some sort of holiday. I grew up near Belfast, and we went down to Dublin for the weekend, and I think I probably would have been 4 at the time. And it's one of my earliest memories is going to see Star Wars in the movie theater, and it was like a double bill. So because it was whenever Empire was just released, so they had like a double bill. So my mom took us to that, and I lasted like maybe 10 or 15 minutes into the start of the first movie because I was like so young, I fell asleep. And then at the end of it, she woke me up, and we went to the toy shop, and the only characters that I really remembered was Vader and the Stormtroopers, because that was right at the beginning of New Hope. So then I got those, and that was the start of collecting for me.
So you've gone all the way through then.
Yeah.
Did you get invested? I mean, having a bit of success in the 90s, you getting that first bit of cash, you must have thought, oh, Power of Force 2, what a joyful time.
Well, before that, I had kind of my first little sort of like entrepreneurial, what's the word?
Venture
yeah. Was before the special editions happened, and before there was all the rumors of new movies and things. I went through that phase where my mom had cardboard sealed all my stuff, all my original toys, and then I started getting. I think I went into a comic shop and I saw the old VHSs of the making of Return of the Jedi or something, and I bought it, and that kind of like reignited sort of like the spark and love for it all. And then I was like, oh, I wish I had all my old toys. I only had like a handful of my original ones, and then I was able to. I thought to myself, there's got to be a way of getting all the old toys again. And Ireland, Northern Ireland is a bit like isolated from the rest of the UK. So and this was like years after they'd all been sold off in toy shops. And got the Yellow Pages and rang up all the Toymaster shops in the Yellow Pages in Northern Ireland. And most of them said, oh yeah, we don't have any. We don't have anything. It's all long gone years ago. But actually some of them did have them, and a lot of Toymasters were owned by like rural farmers and stuff, so they would use their farms as like where basically where they kept all their inventory and stuff. And some of them had just held on to stuff that hadn't sold at the end of like the popularity. So I got my dad and said, look, this stuff, we got to go get it. And we paid like very little money for it. It was like the farmers would just like take it, give me 50 quid, give me 100 quid, whatever. And we were just loading up trailers with stuff. So I was able to then keep stuff that I wanted for myself, and then trade things with some of the retailers in England, because my dad was a model train collector, and he would get this magazine called Model and Collector's Mart, and I never really paid any attention to it because it was all little trains, steam trains, and I was like, whatever, that's his sad little hobby. But then one day I was flicking through it, and I noticed in the back there was like these ads for like Star Wars stuff, and I was like, what? So like that sort of like I was like, oh, this stuff's worth money as well. So I was able to trade. I got the addresses from some of the people in England, and then was able to swap, because I was getting like multiples of ships and things. I couldn't find, and then I never found any carded figures, but I found a lot of vehicles. So I was able to swap playsets. I got loads of Jabba's playsets, loads of the Skywalker ATSTs, loads of the speeder bike sets, B-Wings, Y-Wings, X-Wings, TIE Interceptors, like this pallets of the stuff. And I was able to swap for the things that I didn't have. So I was able to build up a collection of vintage stuff that I needed. And I was never a carded collector. I always wanted to open them up and play them. So
I was going to say, Mark, I just remember having to help you put all your things into storage when you moved to America, and it was like never ending. It was never ending stuff.
So I had a good collection of the vintage stuff, and then obviously, as you said earlier, once the new Part of the Force 2 stuff came around, then I started collecting that, and I basically collected everything of the 3 3/4, and then in more recent years, the Black Series and the retros and stuff. Yeah. I don't go into like the statues, and I'm not really bothered by that. But
it gets really pricey when you
yeah,
get to the statues.
I've got two storage, one in the US and one in the UK. I'm trying to keep most of my vintage stuff is in the UK, and then all the modern stuff's in the States.
Nice, lovely. You got it on display out there, have you? You have
It's mostly in big boxes. I've got. I try and keep all the vintage collection figures easily at hand, and I did go through a phase of getting all the Lego stuff, but it just became too much, and I'm like actually trying to get rid of it now. I'll just keep select ones and selling off stuff because they make so much stuff. You've got to try and like focus it a little bit.
Yeah, but that's the problem with Celebration. Like, it's just like you'll be a kid in a candy store. There's just so much around you. People selling like original figures and stuff, and you'll get all that carded stuff for sale, but it's just so expensive. Yeah.
Oh, actually, talking about collecting, so the stuff that I like the most is the stuff that Hasbro isn't making, because Hasbro's, and they are price gouge and repaint after repaint, same figure again over and over again. But the stuff that the third party custom makers are making is like, to me, the most exciting stuff. So whether it's like the Kenner style, Slave Leia's or Ula's that Stan Solo's making, that stuff is just fantastic. And it's almost like breathing new life into like your old Kenner collections, because you can now populate these setups with like all these droids that Kenner never put out, and just enriches it all.
Yeah. Yeah, so you like the stuff that's never been made before. You're not into repro or anything like that, but you like the continuing the line stuff, don't you?
Yeah, and so you've got Stan Solo, you've got a guy in the Netherlands called the Next 17, who's doing some great stuff. He's made Ethan Mon, he's got up to about 11 new figures that have never been released now. And I know, and he's got like 6 much sought after figures that Kenner have not released, never released from A New Hope, that everyone's going to want. And then there's also Pro Custom Figures, who've done a lot of great pilots and Rebel Fleet Troopers, and they have also focused in on the animated like droids and Ewoks that were never made. So there's a lot of good stuff from the custom makers. Be careful as well, because there's one company in particular that kind of like almost ruined it for everyone by taking a lot of people's money and then not delivering. So just do a little bit of homework before you buy any of that stuff.
Yeah, some great stuff out there. We've got a friend in Canada who does a lot of customizing. He sent us a figure over Christmas, but he messaged me the other day and he was like, he goes, I've just got some new custom figures. And they were all 6 Imperial dignitaries from Return of the Jedi. Every one of them. And it's a great little run. So he's got the one that came out with Kenner, and then he's got these other 5 with it. So made the whole set. But really random pieces. But
yeah, I'm in some of the Facebook groups for the custom stuff. I think I saw those and they look really good.
Yeah, they do.
Really well done.
All painted up and everything there. Yeah.
Has anyone made customs of the Vespa crew? I want those. I don't want to collect. I just want to collect those. Just the only one who has them.
You want to just
all the different colours? Yeah.
The Skittle Rangers, we call them. The Skittle Rangers. Oh, they're the worst.
I'll have the only museum dedicated to those.
To the
crew.
I feel sorry for the actors that actually played those characters. It's like, they must have seen it back afterwards and went, "Thank you."
Well, the main girl's just been casted in. She's
Yellow Jackets.
She's in Yellow Jackets. She's also in Rob, who I made host and dashcam with in his film. She's a lead in the Boogeyman, this Stephen King movie.
You had a young Jyn Erso, didn't you? In one of your shorts, didn't you?
The little girl who played Jyn Erso, she was in my film. So I did have a Star Wars person. Yeah. Jyn Erso. Yeah, young Jyn Erso. She was great. It's funny because when we cast her, I brought the little Funko of her to set, but I was just like, I had it in my bag and I was going to give it to her and I was like, is this weird? I think this is weird. So I never gave it to her. I've still got it. But she was amazing. And like what do you call it? She had the crystal around her neck. She had in as Jyn Erso as well. She had that pendant around her neck that she had. Yeah,
the Kyber crystal. Yeah,
she had it. She still had it. But it wasn't. I think it was like a replica because I think she'd actually lost the original. So I think her parents made a replica because she was like sad about it. Oh, she's great. She was in my friend Prano's film Censor as well, playing the young main girl. But yeah, she's gonna be big. Yeah. I'm sure.
See, I knew we'd get there.
Yeah,
there was a link.
I forgot she's in Star Wars. That's weird. Oh, and I asked her everything about Rogue One as well, because that's my top 3 Star Wars movies.
It's almost actually going back to Disney Plus, like the Andor series is almost like the first movie of a trilogy, which leads up to Rogue One. Rogue One being the third part of the trilogy, we're going to get like the second one. So I mean, even if you hated everything else Disney Plus has done, well, most people like Mando. A lot of people didn't quite like Kenobi really, but Andor, I think Andor is fantastic.
Do you ever get nostalgia for the prequels? Because Attack of the Clones was always my least favourite film, but in May when it was the anniversary, we did a whole month of Attack of the Clones shows. I mean, literally like 10 podcasts, and we delved into everything. And I think by the end of it, I think we were all a bit like, actually, it's an all right film, wasn't it? So I think you were very invested in it, Jez, weren't you? I think it went from second bottom to second best.
It was a huge challenge, and I was like, I'm going to take this. But we all delved into different areas. Someone was looking at the art, people were looking at costumes. I was looking at the sound, and just investing so much in the change from analog to digital, and how Ben Burtt got with Matt Wood, and just the energy and the unique sounds and the additions to Attack of the Clones. And you think about, the seismic charges and to all the other things, but working with Foley and all the bits. It was fascinating. It was such a clever film. And I never thought I'd say that if you rewound 12 months. So that was a great experiment for us in May. And
And Jez, do you like what David Collins is doing with bringing those sounds into the series? I don't know if you follow him on Twitter or Facebook or anything, but he's constantly picking up the sounds that Matt and Ben have done and repositioning them in.
I used to love listening to his podcasts when he would just break down and analyze the soundtracks. The same guy, David W. Collins?
Yeah, David W. Collins, yeah.
Yeah. I was a massive fan of what he was doing in the past. I'm not tracking what you're talking about now.
All right, yeah. So he's posted, because he's basically doing some real top-notch sound design. He's kind of like Matt Wood's prodigy. So Matt Wood was kind of Ben Burtt, and David has worked with Matt for a while, and he seems to be leading, doesn't he, on most of the Lucasfilm stuff now. But because he loves all the detail, as they all do, he'll like say, did you notice in episode 2 of The Bad Batch, or someone will say, what did I hear, like the battle droid from Attack of the Clones in episode 2 of Bad Batch? And you'll go, oh, good listening. Yeah. Yes, I absolutely took this scene and repurposed it and stuff like that. It's really interesting to hear how much he dives back into the good bloke, David Collins.
George Lucas said sound is 50% of the movie.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of it. And I got the guys that said, right, listen, right, I'm going to give you the first 100 seconds of Attack of the Clones. And I reckon the first 100 seconds, the sound alone is better than the original trilogy opening sounds and Phantom Menace. So up until that point, they had really pushed the boundaries. It was push the limits. It was great. I guess I'm, like all of us, hopefully just lucky that we're just in this Star Wars world where we just get great content majority of the time.
Yeah. So to go back to your question, so sorry I went off on a tangent there with the David thing. I was lucky. So I think this was a nice little warning for us that we didn't know about what would happen when the internet properly happened. Because you all remember how everyone was very angry about the prequels. So, if YouTube had been what it was now, it would have been exactly the same as like, the prequels have ruined Star Wars and stuff like that.
I think it would have been worse.
Yeah, absolutely worse. Because I think we had sort of Ain't It Cool News, wasn't it? It was kind of like the big site, and you've got like venting in the comments there. I was really lucky though, because when I went to see Phantom Menace, I took my nephew the second night, but on the opening night, I went with my friends, and I remember about halfway through thinking, I'm not sure about this. This doesn't have the same sort of excitement that I can recall for Star Wars. And it just got past the scene where they were going through Naboo is it the boomer, isn't it? The undersea bit, and you got the fish that eat them. And sat next to me was a dad with, I'd say, about an 8-year-old boy. And when you got the line of, there's always a bigger fish, he just roared with laughter and went, there's always a bigger fish, Dad. And I suddenly, people say it now, but at that moment I was like, oh, they've not made this film for me. They've made it for him, which, funnily enough, I was him when I saw Star Wars sort of thing. So I kind of went out in a complete they've not made a film for me here, and it's Star Wars. It's good, so I was chilled. But I've grown to love them more as I watched. I was surprised how much I go back to them, because I wasn't that overawed at the time. But if you ask me sort of what films will I watch again, it's probably Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
I love
Sucker for Punishment. Okay.
Well, Revenge of the Sith's great. Revenge of the Sith is really good, I think.
Yeah, but you are right. Like there'll be a generation of people who Rise of Skywalker is their favorite film.
Yeah,
and we'll just be like, what? But
my kids, it's their trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's no accounting for taste, but yeah. But it's just like on a slightly different tangent. Like so like we said earlier, probably before we started recording, we've been doing Dungeons and Dragons for the last 2 years, and me and Mark 2.5 years. And there's a new Dungeons and Dragons film that's coming out, and it's probably, if it does any good, it'll probably be the start of a franchise. We'll be there at the start, watching this franchise explode, and we'll be having these arguments 20 years time. Oh yeah, I like the original Dungeons and Dragons trilogy. Like just fandoms change and they move, and people like what they like, people don't like what they don't like, and like they shouldn't be. And I know the Star Wars fans are very vitriolic online when they don't like something, but I think we need to like try to focus some of that energy, or like teach people to focus that energy into like more positive things. Like, yeah, we get it, you don't like it, now tell us what you do like. You absolutely hate like flipping Andor. Okay, tell us what you do like. Don't just be like the negative person. Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not like full on every day looking at Star Wars YouTube videos and stuff, because it is a world where I might want to step back like a little bit and just be like, oh man, like everyone's so angry, like what's going on? Because Mark and Martin tell me about it, and I'm just like, I'm so glad that I'm not like 100% dialed in to like the fandom of the very specific nuances of everything that's going on, because I think I would I
think 95% of what we call the general fandom is not plugged into that. Yeah. But the people that are plugged into it are like lunatics.
Do you know what my YouTube dream would be? That when Kathleen Kennedy does decide to retire, she puts a YouTube video out that says, "Scoop, I can exclusively reveal that Kathleen Kennedy is leaving Lucasfilm." And anyone who quotes it has to link to this video where I announced it. It was no insider. It was no anyone. It was just me saying, I'm leaving. And then she has like a thumbnail of her with red eyes.
Do you think she's going to leave? Do you think she would ever leave?
One day she's going to leave.
One day she's going to be, I've had enough of this.
And then, amazingly, every YouTuber who's been saying it for the last 5 years will go, see? Every day we've been posting that she'll leave.
Well, there's also
there was talk around it then.
Yeah, there's a really, like, you don't have to be Sherlock to sort of like make an educated guess that after Indy that she might want to like retire. So some people have decided to make it like this is their big scoop, that they got this information a few months ago, and that it's all just nonsense. The same people who've been saying that she's about to retire for 5 years.
Yeah, it is hilarious, isn't it, to see how they sort of literally do YouTube channels that says, I predict that someone in Lucasfilm will have a coffee this week, and then you'll see someone go, "Oh, I work at Lucasfilm and I can confirm that happened." Or no, it will always be someone saying, "I know someone at Lucasfilm who has confirmed I was right, but I can't tell you who it was." It is quite bizarre. I don't watch them, so you'll be pleased to know, Jen, I don't watch them that much. I dip in every now and again, sort of shrug and then go, huh, and then walk off. Mark, you love it, don't you? You find it quite entertaining.
Yeah, it's a bit of a circus. I mean, you've got like the whole spectrum of, what they call it. On one side, you've got what they call the shills, and then on the other side, you've got the grifters. And it's like, it's just a war. It's a constant war between the two sides.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, we like the prequels.
Well, to be fair, they got enough abuse, didn't they, without all social media? I mean, it was pretty appalling, really. But,
yep.
Yeah.
But the kids that grew up in the prequels, they grew up and they're now in their like late 20s, 30s, and they're the ones who are like the most loudest and vocal on the YouTube sphere defending the prequels, and the prequels have almost got like a new reverence that they never had before.
Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah, I think you're totally right. Totally right. Gents, we have kept you for such a long time. I mean, yeah, great project. But just before we do shut out, let's just give Cantina another massive shout out. So, where can we get the tickets?
You're right. So we didn't say the date. It's April the 9th, which is the Sunday of celebration. Probably the last night that everyone's kind of around, because people will be there for Monday, but they'll be going home Monday evening. So it's the big finish party for the fans of Star Wars who are at Celebration. We've got that place in the go. Go to axs.com, which is the O2 ticketing agents, or go to the Indigo at the O2, or just look up the O2 Arena and you'll find Indigo on there. Tickets available now. I think the cheapest ones are about £42 when you put all the fees in. It's 36 quid a ticket. And then you've got the VIP ones, which you now look like you're desperate to acquire, and they are very limited. But yeah, get them. It's Level Up Leroy, Blues Harvest with Darth Elvis's last public performance, DJ Elliott doing a full set, and a magnificent, if only one of them was here, the magnificent Ash performing, who, as you've picked up, are quite involved in this one.
And the easy way, just go to thisiscantina.com.
Oh, yes.
And then all the details are there as well, for the whole gig.
And when I listen to Fanfare Tracks, every time Greg mentioned it, it was like hashtag Cantina too. So if you're on social media, I'm sure if you search that hashtag, you'll find Darth Elvis posting loads of posts.
Absolutely. And it's kind of nice because, obviously I left Fanfare Tracks with Dave a couple of years ago, but we're all still really good mates. So it's kind of good working with them on this stuff again. We've always been working, we all hang around together anyway. It was just couldn't dedicate the time to it anymore. But this is particularly nice because it feels like I'm working a bit with them again, sort of thing, getting stuff involved. So good.
It's going to be very good. And I'm going to find Jed and buy him loads and loads and loads of drinks until he tells me what he saw at the Henson Creature place.
Oh, okay. Sure. That'll work.
Yeah,
that'll work.
Martin was nearly kicked from the meeting earlier on when Mark was just about to say something, and Martin was like, "No, don't." And I nearly said, "You've got no authority," and I nearly binned him from the meeting. I was like, "Go on, Mark, just tell us. It's just us four."
I can't remember what Mark was going to say.
Oh, we were talking.
Someone had brought
up the idea of Hayden being there.
Oh yeah.
And then.
Yeah.
We can't say.
No, that's it. They can't say.
Done it again.
And loads of merch.
And loads of merch.
You can mention merch. What you've got planned? Because you've only got like 70 odd days, 80 odd days, maybe. I have no idea.
The most popular thing is t-shirts.
Yeah.
That's the thing we're concentrating on, but just having variations. But we were seeing Cantina t-shirts pop up Mark was always on television. He was on Soccer AM and stuff, wearing it and things like that. But it's just good seeing it out in the wild as well, just especially in non-Star Wars environments. Just like I was at I think it was like either an England match or it was some kind of football match, and someone was wearing a Cantina t-shirt who walked past me in the crowd. I was like, "What? This is amazing." But
there'll definitely be t-shirts. We are working on some other things which we've got to lock down, but there'll obviously be badges and lanyards for the VIPs. That's what we have advertised as being there, but that's not the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, exciting times. Can't wait. It's just raised the level of excitement, hasn't it?
So this is the joy of interviewing us quite a way out, because we've still got a lot more to reveal. So there's a lot of. I'll tell you just yet.
Well, we can come back. We can come back on when we can say stuff, and we can go into more details.
There's also things there's also things which we might not actually be able to say until until the day it might or might not happen because of the nature of celebration. So there'll be a lot of like last minute what's the word, maneuvers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And invitations.
We'll have to do some Facebook lives and stuff. Instagram lives. Get on this.
Yep. Yeah, you want those moments.
And there's going to be a big panel at Celebration revealing that I'm Zuveum. I've been Zuveum this whole time. Stay tuned for that.
That would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Oh, mate, how freaky would that be? That would, yeah.
He is in Philippines. I'm half Filipino, and he is in Philippines right now. So whoever he is,
I've got his name. I've got his name somewhere. We're working on it. We'll get him.
Yeah. Well, gents, thank you all so much. We really, really do appreciate it. It's been great fun, especially when you boys have just gone off on one. and you can sit back and just listen to you. That's makes the best round tables as far as we're concerned. But yeah, thank you all so much. It's really appreciated.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It'd be great to do it again sometime.
See you at Cantina.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So there you go. That was our roundtable with Mark Hamilton, Jed Shepherd and Martin Keeler. And it was a great evening recording that. And since we recorded that, they have announced Mike Quinn, of course, 9 Num, who will also be at Cantina. So make sure you go and get your tickets. I know that certain levels are selling out pretty quickly. I've got a feeling one of them over the last weekend was down to like literally a handful of figures. But I think it's going to be a great night. I think you'll be mad if you miss this. So head over and find those searches that Martin just said. Of course, we will post links on our We Are Generation Skywalker page, so you can just go there and follow the links if that is easier. Of course, this makes sense. We're going to play out this show with Ash's version of the Cantina. So for this show, We Are Generation Skywalker, all eras, all passions, all Star Wars.